Is how to build custom wooden panels using cope and stick, and it's quite simple. And I'm going to show you guys around this program. So basically, this is a fridge panel that we put on a lot of our kitchen cabinets inside of our shop. Here's what it looks like when it's finished as a panel, and then this will be one of the panels that we put on the open side of a fridge gable. So yeah, I mean, it shows all the different sizes, and you can click in here and change that. So we're going to just set this to be 5, and we're going to update that, and it'll update on the fly, and you can change any of these different settings to be whatever you want, and things will get updated, and that's the beauty of it. And if we click on cut list, it gives you an exact cut list for how to build the part. So it says, this is a panel, fridge P, the height, and the width, and then all the different items like the style left, style right, style center, and all these other options. And it gives an exact detailed list on how to build it. And then all you gotta do is save current PNG, and you can save it to your computer wherever you like. So now let's minimize this. Let's go to the pre-made section above here, and I'm going to just select my island end panel. So here's one of the panels we use quite often on an island, and I'm going to show you around the program how to use it. So here on the left here, you can change the name. So you can really set it to whatever you want. You can set how many of these panels you want, and then we've got the height, width. So if we just set this height to be, 60, let's calculate the bottom here, and then it updates, and then width and all that. So you can set if you want to be painted or stained, shaker style or bevel shaker. These are 2 options we use. However, you can just type in here whatever you want it to be. So, but I'm going to just keep it at shaker. This is just naming style, so you can choose a wood type, now here's a pretty important part. This is how many divisions you want, how many panels. So if I just set this to 1, and let's calculate, and then we get an empty open panel. And you can change, if you also just click on items in here, you can change them. So if we set this, as I showed you earlier, you can set this to be 3 inches, and this is also 3 inches, and then all those things change. And if we set this to be 3 divisions, then we can get these rails here like this, or we can set this to be 2, and then we'll also do set this one to be 2 as well. Let's update that, and then change that. Now you can also choose which one's dominant here. So if I just click on this and set the rails to dominant, it'll change that out. And we can also do that for above here. If we set this to be the styles dominant, now the styles will protrude through there. And you can also select this, and you can select to extend the center styles through the frame. Update that, and then they'll go through. In this particular one, you might want to have the styles going through, and so you can just set that here, update that, and it changes. Now, one thing that is not perfect, like you can also, if you set this so these rails protrude through, okay, that works. But if we then set this top area to be rails dominant, okay, that works as well. Okay, I shouldn't be wrong here. Now, that's all working pretty good. We've got a date here at the bottom, so cut list, and now we get all the items exact on how to do it. Now, how can it be exact? Well, we have it up to the specs of our machinery, and that's what this advanced tab here is for. There's options on setting exactly to how you want it, and that's really the beauty of this program. Frame thickness, you can set how thick you want it. However, those are not shown in the cut list currently because in our shop we just have a standard thickness and we don't really change that. So these are currently not being used at all, and so is joint details also not being used. But here is the important part. Currently it says the allowances for tongue and groove, but that's actually called cope and stick. I didn't know that at the time when I programmed it, and so this label here is incorrect. But these here are all working great. So the rail style extend length. I'm just going to select the panel that we'll use in our shop. This is one of our tall doors that we use, and one thing is we like to, when we're building this, we like to have these end pieces come out just a bit farther, and so that is this variable here. So when we cut it up to length to be perfect, this here is just for that extra comfort in knowing that you have a little bit of room to work with. So and that's automatically added to. So this is the rail / style extend length. So the one that's dominant, that one will be getting the extension on it. So these styles here, currently they would be at 75, but since they're getting this, I believe that is a quarter added, maybe not a quarter exactly. And so here, if we go styles, okay, yeah, in total it's a quarter, so you'd get a bit on the top and the bottom. So here we have it, 75, 75, but then the addition. And I'm just going to show you actually in real time what this looks like if we get rid of it and just add 0 here. Let's calculate that, cut list. Now we see it just says 75, so that is exactly what we want. Now, I'm going to set it back to what I have normally. Now, tongue depth is the depth for these ends here that are meeting the stiles, or basically the rail or the stiles, the ones that are butting against the opposing item. They are getting that's their value. So that is going to be the rails normally. So if we go to cut list, this is getting added onto each rail. So if we take a look here, this here would be 17, and then so if we minus 17 by, so that's 4, 5, so that would be 12. So these should be 12, but then we're adding on decimal 625. This is just the depth that we prefer to do for our I don't know the correct term, but the addition onto here, which is also going to be so these edges here on the rails, which is called I think it's a cope or a stick. I don't know the exact term, but basically the additions onto these parts here for the rails, that is the addition onto each item. And then we can go to the panel width extra and panel height extra. These center panels, they won't have the correct height and width currently. If you just have it cut out to what this is on here, it'll be this dimension. But with these additions, the panel width extra, it adds some width to them in this width direction, and then the height, it adds to the height direction. So if you go to the cut list, I guess it's showing it in the center here. This here for the height, it has that addition onto it, and also the width. And then most of these things here you won't need to do, because this is essentially, if you're clicking on the 2D drawing, you're getting essentially all the same things as you are here. But these ones that are grayed out, you can't edit those. Yeah, so basically we use this all the time for all of our different panels and things. So this one's a massive one here. And so you can go to cut list, and you get a perfect cut list for the item each time. And if you're with multiple panels, you can take a screenshot, and then it's going to capture it. And then you can go to another panel. So let's go to this fridge gable here. Cut list, take a screenshot. And now we have 2 items here. And then you can save them all into your gallery, but currently we're good. So yeah, and if you want, you can go to the slideshow, just take a look at the panels and see which ones, if you made a mistake or anything. And then here's the open gallery button at the bottom. Yeah, so yeah, feel free to work on this, change things. If a file you can save as a default, so any item panel you've designed, you can save as default. I would recommend you do that. You can also save them as a file. You can open them, and also I recommend you go to the pre-made section above here and add a current panel as a pre-made. It's quite simple to do, and you can remove and update them as well. Now, if you want to download this, just go to my website, johnnyfriesen.com, and come on down, and there's a download link right here. So just go through there, and you'll be golden to do everything you need to do. Go to Panel Builder, and currently it's only available on Windows. I know I showed you on Mac, but that's just how I have it currently. I don't have a exe for Mac, so yeah, you just download this whole entire folder, everything in here, put it into one folder, and you can just make this exe a shortcut onto your desktop, and you'll be golden. So yeah, styles, rails, panels, and that is how we do the cope and stick. This is what they look like as doors, and as I showed you earlier, this is what it looks like once you make a fridge gable, because sometimes this can be difficult to visualize, and this gives you a visualization of it, and very easy customizable ability to change them to whatever you want. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching.